Aryavachasa. He had to honor and fulfill the words of the father. Dasharatha had promised 2 boons to Kaikeyi. One of the boons she wanted to make use of now and said, Rama should be banished to Dandakaranya. He should have matted locks and he should wear bark or deer skin. This is what she said. The second boon was Bharata should be crowned instead. Both the boons she sought from the husband. That is why the whole confusion. When this was told Rama instantly says, only this much, don't worry, I will leave. This is what he said. So, Dharmishta Aryavachasa yad agad aranyam. Instead of sitting on the throne, he sat on the chariot and went for Dandakaranya. Maya mrigam daitayepsidham anvadhavad. Many things happened during the forest life. One important incident was Maya mrigam daitayepsidham anvadhavad. His beloved wife Sita, Janaki, brought up with a great spiritual, moral and ethical majesty by Janaka. That Sita somehow got allured by a golden deer. She expressed her desire to the husband, to Rama, and Rama decided to chase that deer. That deer was actually a Mayamrigam, Daitayepsidam, Anvadhavad, Vande Mahapurushate Charanaravindam. In spite of all the godliness, the superhuman majesty and magnificence one has, when a person descends as a human being, becomes a human being, he will have to be under all human pressures, human motivations. That is what generally happens. So Sri Rama in his life completely exemplifies what a good human will be, and there are occasions when Rama also evinces some frailties. Karabhajana refers particularly to 2 instances here. In order to fulfill the father's words, he left the throne and Rajyalakshmi and went to the forest. In the forest, heeding what his wife said, he also chased a golden deer of illusion. I think there is a lot for all of you to think. Normally, I am talking to you on Sreemad Bhagavatam, and our subject is Mukti-skandham. We are now discussing the dialogue that transpired in Videha between Navayogis and Nimi Chakravarti. Vedavyasa has put it as a prelude, as a precursory to the real conversation, the dialogue, the last message of Krishna to Uddhava. So you can understand the importance, as I have stressed earlier also. Now, why is this reference to Rama and particularly these 2 instances? I would like to go into Ramayana and bring some elements before you so that you can understand. Maybe many of my listeners are not given to reading Ramayana. Every one of you should read. It is the cultural history of our land. It also tells you what are the tendencies that every human mind is governed by. It is not a history of a second product. It is the history of your own mind. The psychological and intellectual and ego-based history of the human. So everyone owes to himself and also to the society at large a full reading and understanding of Ramayana. Out of the 2 epics, Ramayana comes first. It is comparable to everyone. In Mahabharata, everything complex, enigmatic, in the nature of a puzzle and consternation, all these things are discussed there. In the Ikshvaku dynasty, Rama was not the only great prince. I am sure, and you will agree with me, that before Rama, a number of princes must have been born there. And at least some of them would have been illustrious and great. But we don't know anything about them. There are some occasions in Ramayana where on the one hand Janaka and on the other hand Dasharatha give an account of their lineage. There you will find a number of names presented. And both of them say, our family is very illustrious and we have got a greatly adorable, respectable lineage. That is all the reference that you have. This being so, why is it that this Rama is singled out and he is made a model for all of us? What is the reason? And what is working behind it? Have you ever thought about it? We don't know of a Rama. If he had lived, we don't know anything historically about him. But we certainly know a Rama whom Valmiki Maharshi, the sage poet, presents before us. You cannot doubt Ramayana as a writing. Therefore, the author cannot be doubted. You may doubt many instances mentioned there, but the author had his own purpose. What is the purpose? To impart through the narration the fourfold Purushartha. What is the fourfold Purushartha? Dharma, righteousness. And through righteousness, you earn as much wealth as you want or need, Artha. Equally, make use of the wealth employed to fulfill your legitimate desires, Kama. And finally, be prepared to have a clean, pure, holy, sublime and fulfilling mind. This is moksha. The values of human life so far as we are concerned are dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Each one leads to the other, and finally all the three end up in moksha. This is, everyone will have to abide by this. It is evolved by our thinkers, it is evolved by our seekers, our master knowers. And even now you will find our people are given to it, knowingly or unknowingly. Dharmartha Kama Moksha, as we call it. The entire Ramayana is a narration where the sage author imparts to you this message on Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. How did our people, ancients, pursue this fourfold Purushartha? Did they encounter any kind of an obstacles on the path? Were they confronted? Did they have doubts? How did they overcome their hindrances? What is the power of the human mind? How much can it face confrontations? Is actually physical power the better one? Or the real power is inner, mental, intellectual, intelligential? What exactly is our support in times of danger? Are we to lose heart seeing or experiencing anything in this world? Or is there a ray of hope and confidence sustaining human life? How did our ancients behave? How did they invoke their inner powers and inner strength in times of distress and crisis? All these are explained here. Sage Valmiki, he takes up the subject and he discusses it. So when he describes Sri Rama, he describes him only as the prince and as the king. There is no other Rama before us. You cannot find him to be an ascetic or a sannyasi, though his life in Dandakaranya was with the ascetic robe, that's all, a tapasvi's robe. But he had not become a sannyasin at all. Sita accompanied him, Lakshmana also accompanied him. So let us be very clear. We know Rama as a prince and as a king. Unfortunately or fortunately, we have deified him. And we have made so many temples for Rama. Rama Mandir throughout India. As a result of which, the real human Rama goes to the background. What was the purpose of sage Valmiki? That is completely forgotten and overridden by us. We make a great mistake. Why don't you open the book of Ramayana? Narrate the story in a very beautiful and touching manner to the children, to the grandchildren, to the neighboring children and the others. There is nothing greater than this. You know, in the cultural heritage class, some competitions had been held a few days back, and all the children were given the prizes, whoever won the prizes. So at the end of it, the children wanted me to talk to them. I asked them, what do you want me to talk? What do you want to hear? Please tell us about Hanuman, they said. What is Hanuman? I had recited a verse. What is the verse? Deha buddhya tu dasosmi, jiva buddhya twadamshakaha, atma buddhya tvamevaham, iti me nishchitamatihi. This is a confession which Hanuman made in front of Sri Rama. I don't know whether I should tell you the meaning. Deha buddhya tu dasosmi. My dear Lord Rama, when I consider myself as a body, I instantly feel that I am your humble servant. Everything I would like to do to serve you and your cause. It is with this attitude that he jumped over to Lanka, brought Chudamani back, and gave Rama the whole about the news of Sita, her presence, everything. So I feel like serving you when I think of myself as a body. But I am not the body. I am not the body. I am the spirit that is animating and activating the body, the jiva. When I think of myself as a jiva, jiva buddhya twadam shakaha, I am a part and parcel of yourself. My dear viewers, are you listening to me? This is how you have to look at your body and your life also. We have a body, but we are not the body. Hanuman says, when I think of myself as the body, I become your servant. When I consider that I am a jiva, I become your part. When I go into the essence and character and quality of the jiva, I understand that I am the supreme, inmost, impersonal self. And as the self, Atma buddhya tvamevaham. You yourself are I. I am you and you are I. These are the three ways I look at myself, he says. Iti me nishchita madihi. I had perhaps recited this verse a few months back when I was talking to the children. They raked it up. Swamiji, you mentioned this verse, but you did not explain it to us. We want an explanation. So I narrated the whole story of what Hanuman going to Rama and Lakshmana, finding them from the top of Rishyamukha in an ascetic dress. Sugriva started having a doubt. Then finally, he decides to send Hanuman as the trusted minister to find out all the details about the people who have arrived there. Are they concealed messengers from my own brother Vali? This was his doubt. So Hanuman puts on an ascetic dress, goes there, talks to them. His speech is described by Sri Rama in such a beautiful and glorious manner. With a lot of grammar and perfection he talks. So whatever he talks, we can trust, believe. And then what is the result to make it short? Hanuman said, come along with me. Let us have a pact between my king and you, Sri Rama. You have your cause, my king has his cause. Both of them are parallel. So he will help you, you also help him. And both of them got upon Hanuman's shoulders and they went to Rishyamukha, had the pact. Thereafter Sugriva became a part in Sri Rama's life and they were wanting to go in search of Sita. Hanuman was in the batch sent southward under the leadership and guidance of Angada. Sri Rama called him and gave him his ring. In case he happens to see Sita, how can Sita believe? After all, he is a Vanara. So somehow it occurred to Rama to hand him over that ring which he had. Hanuman took it, met Sita and showed her, gave her this ring. She was very happy. She could trust all that Hanuman said. And she gave back Chudamani as a proof. This is what happened. So I was narrating all this story, how Angada generated inspiration, persuasion, compulsion and enthusiasm in his camp to say that I will jump 10 yojanas. Another said 20. The third said 30. And finally Hanuman was persuaded by Jambavan to take the leap all by himself. All this I was explaining. Why did I tell you this? How Ramayana contains all the human elements which every generation of humans will require. Ramayana is never going to become old and outlived. It can never become obsolete before us. Because every value, every goal, every norm, everything discussed relates to the mind and the intelligence of man. As long as we have a mind, an emotional mind and a rational intelligence, the values and goals discussed in Ramayana will ever become relevant, absolutely relevant. So I gave you a little of the discussion I had with the children, only to tell you that you should also be able to discuss Ramayana elements with your children at home or elsewhere. They will borrow their ears and listen to. You know, the children asked me to explain what is the meaning of this particular verse. What is that verse? Deha buddhya tu dasosmi, jiva buddhya twadamshakah, atma buddhya tvamevaham, iti me nishchita matihi. This is the threefold assessment about human personality. How beautiful it is. And if our young children in the cultural heritage class are so much interested in listening to and imbibing from them, don't you think your children will even require it all the more? So don't fail in your duty as a guardian, as a parent, as an elderly person towards the children. Equip yourself with the knowledge, with the inspiration of Ramayana, the values discussed there, and share them with whomever you can, and everyone will be happy. It is so sweet, so melodious, so inspiring, so fulfilling. Valmiki has put all the descriptions possible in bringing about what exactly is the human hidden glory, and what are the attainments that we should aim at, and how to go about achieving them. All these are discussed everywhere in every chapter. He brings Rama only as an illustration. The personal stories always are the prevailing influence in humanity at any time. So when you discuss the bare qualities, they go above the head perhaps. They become dry. But when you are relating them to a human being, it always lives with us with a much more ready relevance. That is why this illustration is made. While discussing the superb character of Rama, Valmiki has also brought elements where Rama evinced some of the frailties. Perhaps many of you do not know. I am sure that people in the North India, they mostly read Tulsidas Ramayana. In Tulsidas Ramayana, Tulsidas Goswami has dealt with Sri Rama as a full God. That deification is perhaps very much all the more. So much so, some of the human elements have no place there at all. Anybody can write any book, and after all, the content and the message are so very important. But now, I would like to present before you in this scriptural context the original Valmiki Ramayana and some of the elements in Sri Rama's life and character. See, listen. After undergoing ablutions and all other vows preceding the coronation, Rama and Sita were waiting in their respective rooms, awaiting the call of the father. The father did not call. It was 9 o'clock, 9:30 in the morning, and he became anxious. Then suddenly came the message of Kaikeyi asking him to go there. Then, as I told you, the miserable, the most heart-rending scene he saw. When he inquired, Kaikeyi says, not much, this, Sapta sapta cha varshani dandakaranyamashritah abhishekamimam tyaktva jataha jinadharo vasa. Though in a very simple, brief manner, Kaikeyi was giving the heart-rending order. What is that? Sapta sapta cha varshani. For 14 years, double sapta means 2 sevens. Sapta sapta cha varshani dandakaranyama ashritaha. Straight away, my dear son, go to Dandakaranya and live there. Never come back. Without completing the 14 years. Abhishekamimam tyaktva. Everything is ready to crown you, I agree. But this Abhisheka you cannot have. So abandon it, leave it, eschew it from your mind. Jata jinadharo vasa. In order to help you, I am saying that you should not go just as a prince. You go there with matted locks. And thereafter, wear Ajina also. Jata and Ajina go there. So I want you to go from the palace as an ascetic, live in Dandakaranya, along with so many saints and sages there, and spend 14 years there. Kaikeyi thought of 14 years because 14 years, it's a very good period, long period. For the human mind to completely outlive the present memory, psychologically it is said 12 years are necessary. Suppose you shift from one place of residence to another one. Don't think that you will be easily relocated. The old memory will continue to be in you. It will take about 6 years for the old memory to subside and the new memory to come up. Another 6 years for the new memory to stabilize in your mind. So it will take 12 years. This 12-year period also finds place in our spiritual sadhana and progress. You have to pursue 12 years of austerity and ascetic discipline, tattva vichara, in order to become a full knower of truth. I sometimes wonder, nobody has experimented this. Our body consists of X quantity of blood. Every day we are using this blood in the form of cells for conducting our activity. And fresh blood is generated. How long will it take for the present blood to completely disappear and new blood to occupy its place, if you ask? Maybe some of the medical doctors will agree that, Swamiji, it may take somewhat near about 12 years. So the 12-year period is very important. So Kaikeyi thought of 12 years plus 2 as a safeguard. So 14 years if Sri Rama leaves Ayodhya and lives in Dandakaranya, the memory in the minds of the people will have been completely obliterated and they will have become very fond of Bharata, my son. That is why she said 14 years. Abhishekamimam tyaktva jatajinadharo vasa Bharataha kosalapure prashastu vasudhamimam nanaratna samagirnam savajiratha kunjaram. My son Bharata will be crowned here and he will rule Ayodhya sitting on the throne. Nanaratna samagirnam. This Ayodhya is very rich. It is a golden Ayodhya with a number of gems and jewels, and there are a number of horses, a number of elephants. The Sena is very huge. All these things will be under the single command and ownership of my son. To facilitate this, I want you to leave Ayodhya and dwell in Dandakaranya for 14 years. Bharataha kosalapure prashastu vasudhamimam. You know what is Rama's reaction? This is where Valmiki tells you the hidden power, the hidden glory, the hidden strength, the hidden potential of your own mind within your body. The mind is closer to you than your body. And what are the powers inherent in the mind, hidden in the mind? Valmiki is revealing. See, Rama had the same body that you and I have. He also had an emotional mind, a rational intelligence. He also had an ego to coordinate all this. Nothing more he had, nothing different he had. With all these things, just see what he says. Rama's reaction, aham hi sitam rajyam cha pranan ishtan dhanani cha hrusto bhratre swayam dadyam bharataya aprajoditaha. My dear stepmother, why are you doubtful? Why are you doubtful about the whole thing? To give something to Bharata, I need no provocation, no persuasion. Nobody need entreat to me what I should do for Bharata. Aham hi, myself, Sitam Rajyam cha. I will give my Sita, my kingdom, the entire Ayodhya. Pranan ishtan dhanani ja. My own pranas I will give. Ishtan dhanani ja. Whatever wealth and treasure is there belonging to me or where I can lay my hands on, all of them I am with contentment prepared to give to Bharata.